Hello, you lovely people. Without any grain of salt and without any poopbar.gg promotions, let's get right into the informations you are looking for. We got new leaks about Chaskas Whole Kit with her Constellations breakdown, as well as the 5.2 Nathal Map Expansion. So please subscribe to the channel to know about new leaks like this. Now, let's get into the video. First up, let's talk about Chaskas Whole Kit and her Constellations. Starting with her normal attack, Feathered Strike, Chaska can perform up to 4 consecutive bow shots. Her charged attack fires arrows that deal anemo damage when fully charged, and like many bow users, she can execute a plunging attack, dealing AoE damage. Her elemental skill is called Soulbind Pursuit, where Chaska resonates with the will within her weapon, dealing AoE anemo damage. Upon casting, she gains 80 Night Soul energy and enters her Night Soul infusion state. During Night Soul infusion, Chaska can hover while riding the Spectral Sphere Ritual Staff, increasing her movement speed and resistance to interruption. While hovering, she consumes Night Soul energy to maintain altitude, and she can perform 2 types of multi-aim attacks. In multi-aim, tapping the skill performs a normal anemo attack, while holding the skill allows her to target multiple enemies within range, unleashing up to 6 chasing bolts at the designated targets. If you hold the skill longer, it increases the number of chasing bolts for extra firepower. Next, let's talk about her elemental burst, Soul Strike Assault. Chaska fires a Windrun Soul Strike bolt, dealing AoE anemo damage. This bolt splits into 6 Soul Seeker bolts, which target nearby enemies. For each Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro character in the party, 2 Soul Seeker bolts convert into Radiant Soul Seeker bolts with elemental properties, making her burst incredibly versatile depending on your team composition. Now, let's talk about Chaskas' passive talents. With Trick of the Bullets, when using multi-aim in Soulbind Pursuit, she can trigger Spiritual Conversion, converting her 3rd chasing bolt into a Radiant chasing bolt if you have Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro teammates. The chances of triggering this increase are based on the number of these elements in your team. Her second passive, Intent of Cover, lets her fire a blazing chasing bolt at nearby enemies when Night Soul Surge is triggered by a team member, dealing anemo damage that also converts to an elemental version if there are elemental characters on the team. And now for her Constellations, her C1, Magazine, Restless Cylinder, increases the chance of Spiritual Conversion and allows the 2nd chasing bolt to also become Radiant. It also reduces her Night Soul energy consumption during her Night Soul infusion state when out of combat. At C2, her Radiant chasing bolts from Soulbind Pursuit deal 400% of Chaska's attack as AoE elemental damage. Her C3, called Binding Rope Meticulous Control, it increases the level of her elemental skill, Soulbind Pursuit, by 3 levels. Moving on to her C4, Starfire Instantaneous Strike, this constellation improves Chaska's elemental burst, Soul Strike Assault. When her Radiant Soul Seeker bolts hit an enemy, it restores 1.5 energy to Chaska and deals AoE damage of the corresponding element. This AoE damage is equivalent to 400% of Chaska's attack, which significantly increases the damage output of her burst and helps her regenerate energy more efficiently. Then at C5, Hat Brim's Sand Shadow Outline, Chaska's elemental burst, Soul Strike Assault, gains more 3 levels, allowing it to hit harder. The added levels enhance the strength of both the Soul Strike bolt and the Radiant Soul Seeker bolts, making this a valuable constellation if you want to maximize her burst's potential. At C6, after triggering Spiritual Conversion, Chaska gains the Assault state, which instantly charges her next multi-aim attack, boosting crit damage by 120%. Plus, with her signature weapon, when she triggers a swirl reaction while she has different elements teammates in her team, it boosts her normal attack damage by 24% for 12s and charge attack damage by 20% at base level and 48% at max level. It also increases her elemental burst damage by 10% at the base level and 24% at the max level. Now, let's talk about Nathal Map Expansion in version 5.2. This new area is located in the northwest, and interestingly, the overall land area is slightly smaller than what we saw in 5.0 update, but when you count in all the water areas, it's actually much larger. Also, with this map comes a major side quest that will take around 2 hours to complete. Natlan will also introduce 2 new types of dragons for us to encounter in that update. We don't have full details yet where it's going to be. Now for the update you all were waiting for, the fishing system. Yes, from version 5.2 you can finally start fishing in Natlan. This one's a bit more uncertain, but there are also some potential artifact optimizations coming in version 5.2. We will discuss upcoming Mavwika trial information and Auroron's kit breakdown with his constellation information in our next video. So to get all of the information about these updates early, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.